Gonna get started soon. Get started really soon. I'll wait for a few people to log on. Hello. Hello. Good morning, everyone. Say good morning, portrait. So I just spit up all over my clothes, and I need a diaper change, so everybody can tune in and wait for everybody else to log in, and I'm gonna do that. Today we're gonna be talking about my home birth with portrait, and I'm gonna let you guys ask questions about the experience after I go through the motions and telling y'all how it all went down. So if you have any questions you're thinking about, go ahead and dial those in and I'll answer them as I'm going through. Hi, sweetheart. Okay, I need to change her diaper and get her real right before I start. So bear with me, y'all. I'm gonna just wait for everybody else to log on. So while we're waiting on everybody to log in, I'm gonna tell y'all why my life is in shambles this morning. So today was supposed to be the first day that Cayenne got on the school bus. Okay, everybody already knows that I wasn't really thrilled about it. But the little paper, it said her bus stop was supposed to pick up at 8:15. Okay, cool. If I'm walking up the street at 8:05, why is the bus taking off? Like, bruh, I hear it and I'm like, Cayenne, that's the bus. I feel like I was like a little kid again, like, I'm missing the bus, like, and I'm like running with the stroller, like, come on, and it's just driving away. And then I'm like, is that her bus? That couldn't be her bus. So we stood at the bus stop for like an extra like 3 minutes, and I was like, I think that was your bus, bro. And she was like, how did I miss the bus? Like, she was so upset, like I did it intentionally to hurt her feelings or something, but I had to use my best friend's car to drive her to school, and she got there, and she's happy. So after that, I had to put gas in my best friend's car. So you know when you try to like stop the gas, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to like only get a little bit. You're trying to like stop it on the $10, not like 10.01. So I'm like trying to and the shit and put gas all over my body, like everywhere. So I had to come home. This girl was crying because she was hungry. I had to hurry up, feed her while I'm trying to at the same time get clean clothes on myself. So I finally get clean clothes on myself, and what did she just do? Spit up on me. Mom life. Mom freaking life, y'all. So, like I said, my video's gonna be real, my life's gonna be real. Y'all gonna be able to see my real life. In my real life, I get spit up on a whole lot in my real life. I go through things during the day, and it messes with my energy. But you know what? What I learned yesterday in church is that when you trying to make a stride, the devil gonna throw wrenches in your plan and try to stop you from doing it. So this is something that the devil's trying to do to stop me from doing what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing. I'm still gonna give y'all the content that y'all asking for. So just bear with me, cause I got home from dropping her off from school late, and I still gotta change the diaper, get her right, and she just spit up on me. So y'all just gonna have to have spit up pants in this video. So like I said, if you're logging on, if you're just getting on, please write in your questions, and when I get started, I will try to get them answered for you. I had kind of a checklist that I wanted to go through and make sure I spoke on everything. So I'm gonna start with our journey trying to conceive. I feel like it's very taboo to talk about. Hi, girl. It's very taboo to talk about being a young person and trying to conceive a baby, because people don't look at it as something that you should be doing at a young age. But me and my husband, we married. We wanted to have a family from all them years ago. We've always said we wanted a lot of kids. My health and my body has been telling us for years that that's not really something we might be able to do. So we've always wanted at least more than one child. So we set out to start having a baby right after our wedding. And needless to say, we've been married for 2.5 years, so it took a while. But we tried everything. When I say everything, I tried apps, I tried different lubricants, I tried doing it on the ovulation day, doing it every other day, doing it the day after ovulation, doing it the day before ovulation, whatever I could do. Like, I was at this nigga neck, like, hello, I'm ovulate. You need to come on here and rub on this booty. You need to do something. And it's stressful because that window is so short, and you don't realize how short that window is until you're purposely trying to get pregnant. When you're doing it by accident, it's easy to just be like, oh, I don't know. I mean, I'm pregnant. The stick already got 2 lines. But when you're trying, it is such a hard experience to go through. And the only thing that gave us portrait was me going completely vegan. I was vegan for a whole year and a half, and I did not eat meat. The only thing I did eat meat-wise was seafood, and I went back and forth to the seafood thing. And then after a while, I just was out of it completely. One thing that I do feel like, and Kai, he probably gonna be like, girl, leave it alone. But I really feel like what helped us get pregnant was the fact that he stopped smoking Black and Milds. Like, and then he went back to it now that we got pregnant. But that's neither here nor there. I used to stress him like, bro, you got to stop smoking these cigarettes, stop smoking these blacks. Like, this is why we're not getting pregnant. And I felt so strongly about it that I'm like, you know what? You ain't even going to get nothing until you stop smoking these blacks. I ain't about to stress myself having no baby. You don't want to have another baby because you won't stop smoking blacks. Like, this is something that you know is unhealthy for your body, and we're trying to both get to optimum health so that we can create a child, and you're not trying to do that. So it was really hard for me, and we went through the motions, and then he stopped smoking them, and we went through a really transitional point in our marriage, and we started trying to just work through some communication issues that we had at that point. And we got to a point where, like, you know what? We need to focus on our marriage and not worry about having a baby. Maybe that's why we're having the communication issues we're having. So we gave up. We're like, all right, we're not going to do it. We're just going to try to have fun. And it just so happened that month that we said we was going to try to have fun, Cayenne went on a nice little vacation to her godmother's house. So really, we had like 3 weeks of time where we were just at home alone, working together, cleaning, and coming home and watching Netflix and chilling. And even though we weren't trying, I had started a fertility blog. It was more for healing myself. It was more for giving myself an outlet to express the way I felt about trying for a baby, about the fact that I wasn't getting pregnant, and about the fact that it was something that was changing the course of my relationship. I needed a place to vent, so I created a fertility blog. I blocked everybody close to me so that it wouldn't end up being found by anyone, and I blogged my experience with trying to conceive. Now, even though we weren't trying actively at that point, of course, everybody knows you're always practicing. So even though we weren't purposely like, okay, I'm ovulating today, this needs to happen today, I ended up getting pregnant. And if you go to my fertility page, it is at Mahogany Mama. I posted it a couple of days ago, and I'll post it again today. You can see physical evidence right there of the month that I got pregnant with Portrait. And I was uplifting myself. I was uplifting other women that were trying to conceive, all in the same process of trying to give myself a little bit of a boost. I was very in a depression, especially about trying to conceive at that point, because it was such a humbling experience. Like, this is something that your body can do on accident. So when you're trying to do it and then you don't succeed in doing it, it's not fun to realize or to talk about. So you either have like a select few friends that you talk to about it, or you know, you just don't talk about it. So I've internalized a lot of those things, and I put it into my blog, and you can literally see the day that I started throwing up and I said, oh my God, I'm feeling sick. Like, is this it? And then the day that it was it. And anybody out there who is trying to conceive, you're not alone. There are women everywhere that you can find, whether you get on Glow or another fertility app, whether you get on Instagram and just do #TTC. You will find all types of women with all types of health issues, all types of barriers in between them and having a baby, that'll be there to support you and be there to help you or to give you guidance or even support. And I found a whole network of women that was there for me and cheer me on the whole way. Like, girl, go ahead. You might have 2 lines in a little bit. I'm waiting for mine. Like, it was a beautiful experience to go through. One thing that I wanted to make sure I touched on, because somebody asked me about it in my DMs, was pregnancy after a preemie and pregnancy after having miscarriages. Both are very different things to deal with. Both are grieving, but both are very different things to deal with. Pregnancy after a preemie is more about fear. You're afraid. You're afraid that things are going to happen the same way again. You're afraid, oh my God, I'm going to have another preemie. Oh my God, I'm going to have to sit in the hospital again. Oh my God. Like, you just, everything is like it's like a breathe, Mila, calm down. Oh my God, am I having a headache? I'm having a headache. I better not be getting preeclampsia. Oh my God, I'm sweating. Like, I'm waking, I can't sleep at night. Is this it again? Like, and if you watch my birth story from yesterday, you'll understand where I'm coming from. I was trying to connect all of those negative things that happened in my pregnancy with Cayenne to my pregnancy with Portrait, and try to make sure they didn't happen. And even if they did happen, it's like, I know how to fix it now, so let me try to fix it. But at the same time, I'm stressing myself out, pulling out my locks, because I'm like, please don't let this happen again. So pregnancy after a preemie is a very stressful thing to go through, and I feel like if anybody is in that predicament, you should definitely reach out to them, make sure they're doing okay, because they could depress themselves into a miscarriage and not even know it. I feel like the miscarriages that I dealt with before I got pregnant with Portrait were very, very hard, because of the fact that we were trying for a baby, and also because of having a preemie first, because you always have that fear of, what if I'm never able to have kids again? Or what if I'm never able to have a successful pregnancy after that one that really was a fail because my baby was born premature? It's like, you just feel, and I keep trying to stress in every segment that I do, being a woman is not about being super. They put super in front of woman, and everybody thinks that that's what you have to be. You don't have to be superwoman. You can be weak. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not have it all figured out. It's okay to not be perfect. Even though we lived in a world where we're looking at people that are perfect every day, but we don't know, as soon as they post that picture, they go right back to being imperfect like we do. So be aware when you watch people go through things and you think that they're just strong and they're something through it. Because everybody thought I was strong, honey. I was not strong, bruh. Stop thinking I'm strong behind these pictures, bro. I'm not strong. I'll be crying. Like, I'm a crybaby. So don't get it twisted. Another thing about pregnancy after miscarriage that was really hard for me was that I had a miscarriage a year before, and it was something that, it was a period where we had took a break from trying because we weren't in a good financial place and place in our relationship, so we had quit, and I ended up getting pregnant by accident. So being that it was on accident and it was something that I was not looking for, I didn't find out I was pregnant until like 9 weeks, and by the time I got to the doctor, I was already miscarrying. I literally, guys, imagine going to the doctor, your first appointment to go see your baby, and when you go pee for them to take your pregnancy test, you see blood. And I literally was in there like, this is not happening. I just found out this is not happening, and it still happened. And I still had to go out with my baby, my Cayenne and Kai, and they're waiting to see this new baby and tell them that this ain't what it's about to be. And I had to go to the emergency room right then and get an ultrasound for them to tell me that my baby was passing. So going through that, and then it was also because I told a lot of people. I told my mom, I told Kai's mom, we told his grandparents, and we really wanted people to know so that they could pray. That was the main thing for us. Like, we didn't know this was happening, so just pray. And it just so happened that we lost the baby. So getting pregnant with Portrait after that was another humbling thing, and something that was scary for me, because I just did not want to lose her. I didn't want to go through that heartbreak again. It was hard to deal with, and I feel like going forward, I would probably advise another woman to, okay, girl, I would probably recommend to another woman to make sure that you're 100% ready to take everything that getting pregnant after a miscarriage entails, because everybody deals with it differently, and everybody is not going to understand. Because originally when I got pregnant with Portrait, I was kind of scared. I was sad. We were trying, but we had got to a point where we weren't trying. So at that point, I'm like, oh crap, I just said I wasn't trying to do this. I'm pregnant. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm pregnant one day. Like, no. Me and Kai were in the bathroom every morning with Dollar Tree test light. It still has 2 lines on there. Is that 2 lines? It's 2 lines. Oh, it's 2 lines on there. I'm like calling my mom like, Mom's still pregnant. She's like, all right, so what are we going to do? I'm like, Mom, I don't know. I'm still pregnant from yesterday. Yesterday I'm pregnant, and today I'm pregnant. Like, it was like weird. It was like gibberish going in and out of one side of my ear and out the other. Like, I'm not pregnant. This is not happening. Like, but something else in me was saying that this was it, that she was going to be here. And so I went into a hole and I just basically only told a few people. We literally didn't even tell Kai's mom until she found out with everybody else pretty much Thanksgiving. But my main reason for waiting, and I think that I want to touch on this because I think that it's looked at negatively because we live in a culture where we overshare. Everybody overshares their life. Everybody is always telling everybody what's going on. So when people feel like something was hidden from them, they take it personal. And it wasn't personal. It wasn't to keep anybody out of my life. Because I feel like I'm a very open person, like kind of sort of open. And so that I felt like it gave people the impression that I was closing my life off to y'all. And it wasn't that I was closing my life off to y'all. It's just that, number one, I was afraid that I was going to have a miscarriage. So I didn't want to announce my pregnancy and then have to tell y'all I had a miscarriage, because me having so many miscarriages already, like, nobody wants to talk about it. Like, I'm still crying about, I have my 2 kids. I have 2 healthy children, and I still, at night, still think about the babies that are not here. So it's not something that I wanted to have to tell anybody if I had a miscarriage. So really, I could count on my hand, about 5 people knew. And I went through my pregnancy. Now, everybody knows I was acting during my pregnancy. Let's find out how that was. That was great, guys. Acting while I was pregnant was the best. Why? Because it gave me an extra battery in my back to realize that I can do anything. Being a mom, I can do anything. Don't let anybody tell you that as a mom, you can't follow your dreams, you can't do what you want to do. Because being on set and having a baby inside of me growing and a baby at home was like, yeah, I'm on set. And they want me in the shot. And they want me to stand right here in front of the camera. And the mama, the one with 2 kids, the one that's pregnant. Yeah, the fat face girl with the big nose. That's me right there in the middle getting a feature. Like, it was empowering for me, and it made me feel like I could do anything. Through the beginning of my pregnancy, I think I did Uncle Drew first. Uncle Drew, I was on set for 7 to 8 days, maybe 9 days. And the hours were so long, and they were overnight. But because I was mad pregnant, I would sleep during the day and go to set at night and not be worried about it, because I'm like, shoot, they gonna feed me. If they won't try to feed me, all I had to do was go tell them I was pregnant and somebody was gonna give me a snack. Like, I wasn't worried about it. The only thing that had me tight was when they would give like little like BS snacks, it would be like PB&J, and I'm allergic to peanut butter, so that was hard on set. But going forward, all the other sets were very understanding. When I was on Star, mad pregnant, and in a club scene, and I was a feature, and I was happy about it, and I was just like, wow, like, how am I doing this club scene? Even though I wasn't seen as much as I thought I was going to be seen, and I was on set for way longer than I should have, only being seen for 2 seconds, but whatever. I was very empowered doing that as being pregnant and in a sexy club dress and doing the scene in heels, and it made me feel really good. For the people that follow me on Snapchat, y'all know about this already, but I was on Star another time and I was pregnant. I was cast to be a stage manager, but when they saw my belly, they were like, the black ain't really cutting it, so we're gonna have to give you, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna have to minimize your role. So instead of being somebody that actually like came in, walked up and was seen like with a mic and like telling people where to go, which was my original thing, I was just reduced to walking up some stairs past Lance Gross. So I had to keep walking up these stairs every take. So one take, I hear, you got something on your clothes, you want me to get it off? And I turn around and it's Queen Latifah, and she's like, right here. And she's like, don't worry, I got you. And I'm just like, but I'm mad pregnant. Like, and I'm like, my baby is essentially getting touched by Queen Latifah right now, so she's just a star. Lord. Okay, that was like one of the best days of my life because I love Queen. But anyway, moving forward, my pregnancy was, I feel like it was better than Cayenne's pregnancy, of course, because I was healthy the whole way through. I didn't have any of the pains, all the aches and achies and all that type of stuff that I had with Cayenne. I was healthy. I was sick. I was real sick. When I got like maybe from 9 to about 14, I was really, really sick. Like, I couldn't keep anything down. Kai's making me tea around the clock. Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, he would go to work and come home and be like, you straight? Like, I'm not straight, bro. Like, nothing about this is straight. Cayenne's like rubbing my head, giving me like cold paper towels, like putting on my head. She was such a good babe, like a good big sister at that point in time. And I had Cayenne's birthday party in October, and I was 13 weeks. Nobody knew I was pregnant. I was a whole in my 3rd trimester and had this whole big birthday party, and my jeans, y'all, were so tight. If y'all knew how tight my jeans were at that party, oh my goodness. I made sure I wore like an oversized shirt because I had to like take my buttons out because it was just ridiculous. So moving forward, I waited to announce, like I said, because I didn't want to have to take everybody through my miscarriage if I had one. And I also waited because, like I said, being young and trying to have a baby or growing your family voluntarily is not something that people think is okay, not something that people think you should do. And I'm here to tell y'all it doesn't really matter. It don't matter how old you are. It really doesn't even matter if you're married or not. If you want to have a child, that's your body's choice. That was me and my husband's choice to try to have a baby. We got pregnant at the point where we were like, never mind. But it still ended up working out, even though it wasn't as ideal as we wanted it to be. It was the way God intended it to be. And now I'm realizing that the reason I went through the things that I went through for both of my pregnancies is for this right here. This is for me to be able to share with you guys and you be able to learn from my story. So I'm going to take a break and look at your questions before I go into my later pregnancy and birth experience. Somebody on Facebook said, was the pain really bad? I'm going to get to that in just a second. Good morning, Mom. Victoria says she feels guilty having another baby because I don't want her to feel less loved. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I feel like I deal with that, and I'm doing a video on my experience with Cayenne, being the only child and then transitioning into being a big sister. It is really something that's hard, and people make it seem like it's just something that is seamless. It's not seamless, bro. Maybe I'll talk about that tomorrow. But it's going to be longer than a couple minutes, so I'll definitely touch on that. It says, yes, Victoria, exactly. She says, this is very true. Not everyone wish the best upon you when you get positive. Right. So I didn't want to announce my pregnancy and people be like, I hope she lose it. And it might be something you might feel like, girl, anybody think about you that bad, but people will speak death and speak negativity over your life in private, and you will never know until something happens. Hey, Mia. Kanique says, having the support system, was it better to have people around or better to just be with hubby and midwives? Yes, I'm going to definitely get to that as well. And let's see. My mom says, I was planned too, and I was planned to be 4 years after my brother. So that's something I knew already, but she wanted to share with y'all. So moving forward to the end of my pregnancy, after I announced, okay, I'm gonna grab that question mark because you was there, so you doing this for everybody else. But so in my later pregnancy, after I announced, well, I'm gonna talk about my pregnancy depression first. So I did feel like I had pregnancy depression because of the fact that I went into my whole being pregnant and not telling anybody, and I'm still talking to everybody every couple of weeks and not telling them nothing. So it's like, what you got going on, girl? Nothing. I'm on set doing this, doing that, but really I'm like, I'm sick, I'm fat, I'm tired of getting fat. Like I couldn't really share those things. Oh, before I get there, the gender woes. So everybody knows, of course, this is how it goes. When you have one type of child, you want the other type of child. So when you have your second child, you're praying and hoping and praying and hoping that is going to be the opposite of what your first baby was. So, of course, we were hoping for a boy. Being transparent, I was hoping for another girl because, I don't know, I just have this fear of raising a man. It's scary. I don't know how to do it. I feel like I'm good at the women stuff. I'm good at trying to tell my daughter how to be a great woman, how to uplift her, and how to uplift a woman. I don't know how to uplift a man. Like, other than, you know what I'm saying, what I've learned being in a relationship. But as a mom, I don't really know. It's not because I didn't see my mom do it with my brothers, because my brothers were very emotionally loved. I just feel like me as a person, the woman I am today, or the woman I was when I was pregnant, would not be prepared to raise a man. So I was very, very much hoping on my second little girl, but Kaya, of course, wasn't. So me personally, I felt like, and this is just another being transparent moment, I feel like after we found out she was a girl, everything kind of changed. Because we went from, oh, this is our second pregnancy, we're going to do it, with all the hoopla this time, and we're married, so we're going to do the big gender reveal, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and we're going to have photo shoots and do this. And it just didn't end up working out that way. Once it was a girl, it was like, it's a girl. Like, we already got clothes put up. We got this, we got that. We already know what we're going to do. I know what theme I had picked out. I already knew her name. I knew everything once it was a girl. So I feel like maybe for Kyrie's side, his momentum kind of went down because he was preying on this boy. So after that, it was just like, having another baby instead of it being, we're having another baby. So that kind of made my morale go down a little bit. I felt like I was excited by myself after that point, and I'm not sharing this with y'all, and he doesn't know I'm sharing this with y'all. We and him have had conversations, and we worked through these issues and had these talks, so don't think that I'm like sharing my business. But so after I announced, I did a photo shoot. I just dropped a pink picture in a pink dress and said it's a girl. And after that, I feel like it was something that freed me, but it also brought all of those anxieties back. Like, what if something happens? Something could still happen. I'm only 20 weeks. Something could still happen. I had Cayenne at 26 weeks. So how do I know that I'm not going to have another premature baby? And now I done opened it. I should have just not said nothing. Like, and then also announcing at Thanksgiving, I got mixed reviews. Some people were like, girl, you gonna have another baby? Like, scared for me because, of course, I almost died having my first. So they're like, why would you even risk that? That's not a very smart thing to do. And no, I don't blame them, because that's out of worry. That's out of love that somebody is saying that to me. But at the same time, it brought me to a place where I was so unsure of myself. When I was dealing with my pregnancy by myself, I was sure of myself. I wasn't worried about who cared, who liked that I was having a baby, who didn't like that I was going to have another baby. I was just like, I'm pregnant, and it's my business. But once I shared it with everybody, for some reason, something that clicked in my head that it was everybody else's job to tell me what I should and shouldn't do. So for a few weeks, I felt really isolated. I felt really alone because I didn't want to feel like if something did happen to me, to Portrait, that people were going to be angry with me. Like, why were you so hell-bent on having another baby that you ended up hurting yourself, or you ended up, something happening to you? So I tried to give myself to a point where I didn't care about anybody's opinions, and I was just focused on having a healthy baby. So from that point, I walked into a new place saying, I don't care. Keep your negativity over there. I ain't care who told me I was fat. I ain't care who told me, you know what I'm saying? Are you worried? Are you scared? Are you what? I'm not dwelling on that. I'm pushing to April. We pushing to April. I don't got time for none of that. I'm pushing to April. So I feel like after I got past 26 and a half weeks, which is when I had Cayenne, I was way more perky about my pregnancy. I started posting my belly pictures, and I really wanted to take it turned into just bliss, beautiful bliss for me. I was the happiest pregnant lady you could ever think of, like happiest pregnant lady ever. I had beautiful pictures taken. Our cousin Elisha took pictures for me at the mountain where I used to hike, and I used to sit on top of that mountain and just meditate on Portrait and just dream of my baby. And so having my pictures taken there was symbolic, and being able to take her there when she was 2 weeks old, when she needed some sun, to get a little sun, was great for me. So I'm gonna talk about labor and delivery now. Y'all ready? Okay, so some people know, somebody don't know. Me and my husband went through some stuff at the end of my pregnancy, and we decided to move from Atlanta. So that was decided at 38 weeks. That was decided. And so we went from preparing for this home birth and everything being okay to, what do you want? No. I don't know what she wants, guys. I don't know if she wants it in her mouth or not. But, oh, you want to do it yourself? You want to do it yourself? Okay. All right. So, I was 2 centimeters dilated when this all started. I went from like 1 to 2 to real 2. And from then, I went from, of course, because we're rushing to move, I had to rush the baby out at that point. So that's why I was on Facebook like, y'all, how y'all get y'all baby out? Because I'm trying to get my baby out. Asking y'all all of these questions because I'm like trying to figure out how to get her out so that I can still go through with my home birth and not have to give birth in an emergency room in North Carolina. Because I don't mean no harm, but the laws up here, bruh, it just ain't Atlanta, bruh. It ain't Atlanta. It's not. You just want to be in the camera. You want to be in the camera? Or you want to go night-night? You can swing? Okay. So, my advice that I was given by my midwife was to walk around IKEA. So, if you watch my story, you know about all this stuff. So, this is just a play-by-play for y'all. But, I would walk through IKEA every day. I went to this restaurant and got some eggplant parmesan. And I still got to go back and take my baby's pictures up there because I got an eggplant twice trying to get my baby out. So, I am pretty much over it. I'm over being pregnant. I'm over trying to get my baby out. I'm over it all because I'm also dealing with all of this stuff having to move. So, originally, to go to, I can't remember whose question it was. I think it was Kanique, about having people around. Our original plan, my birth plan, was no parents allowed. I wanted it to be me, Kai, and the midwives, and my best friend Kelly was supposed to be there. That's it, as my doula. I didn't want it to be anything because the first birth, we compromised a lot of what we felt for our parents because we thought more about their experience than our own. And that was something that we grew to regret later on. And Kai missed Cayenne's birth, as you found out yesterday. So, we had put that in plan, like, okay, y'all can come on this day, but this the day y'all gonna come, and you know what I'm saying, this the day she's supposed to come. So her godmother was supposed to be there, but she ended up, like yesterday I was talking about she's gonna get on here and talk to me about stroke health one day this week. She was supposed to come and help me, but she ended up going through a situation where she had a stroke and dealt with a blood clot situation, so she had to stay home. And so I had to call my mom. Mom always got my back, so I had to call my mom, and she came. She helped me pack up my house while I was laboring in the background. So understand, me having a home birth, it wasn't no hospital I was gonna run to, and they're like, oh, okay, you're 3 centimeters, so we're gonna give you an epidural, and that's gonna speed up the process, give you some Pitocin or whatever. And Shorty wasn't ready, bruh. She wasn't ready, so she was just taking her sweet time, and it was hard for me. So I got a Foley bulb. I got to a point where I was in pain, but she wasn't dilating anymore. So my midwife gave me the Foley bulb, which is basically, say, hey. It's basically a balloon. She put a balloon in there, and then she, like, shot some water in there, and it basically opened up my cervix, so my body had to then catch up and give birth to the balloon. And that was something that was a crazy experience because I gave birth to it, but it was still in my body. So I'm like walking around IKEA, trying to get stuff done, trying to help my mom pack, trying to drink whatever, eat whatever, poop out whatever, throw up whatever that's gonna get this baby out of my body. And I'm walking around with this Foley bulb just in me. So I'm calling my midwife like, it hasn't come out yet. What am I going to do? And she's like, tug on it a little bit. And when I tugged on it, it just popped into the toilet. And I'm like, okay, what now? She's like, I'm going to come tomorrow and we're going to see what's up. So when she comes, she's like, all right, so tomorrow I need you to rest and walk, squat and walk, rest and walk. And then Wednesday, I'm going to come and we're going to get it together. Pop this water and get it done. She had it like other moms that was giving birth. She's like, let me get some time, because if y'all follow the moon, the full moon was on the 31st. And the 31st was her grandmother's birthday. And I was determined to get her out before then. It wasn't going to happen. Either before, or I was going to hold my legs together all day on the 31st and have her on the 1st. But I was not having her on the 31st. So all of these babies, I think they had 6 babies that were born in that week. So they were like, she was like, all right, you got to hold up, because I got other moms that got to fall in line. So just let me Wednesday. So I'm like, all right, Wednesday. So Wednesday comes, she gets there, she pops my water. Y'all, I felt like I had 2-gallon jugs of water in my body, because water was flying everywhere. And I was like, ew. And Kai's like, that's nasty. And I'm like, I know. Like, it was just weird. I don't know. It was just weird. I just hated how he was like standing in the distance, just glaring, watching me. Like, I just thought it was weird. It's like, yeah, okay, you've seen all of it, but don't watch my water break. Like, I was just so annoyed. Like, ew. So, my water breaks, and I'm thinking, of course, everybody watch TV. Your water breaks. You go to the hospital. The baby's here. Yay. Like, so, I'm like, all right, my baby's coming, like, tonight, I'm going to have a baby. So we all know that I didn't have a baby on that first day. So my advice right now, you thinking about having a natural childbirth? Wait on your baby, because your baby is going to come when it feels like it. Not when you feel like it, when it feels like it. It don't matter what you eat, what you take, none of that. It's going to come when it feels like it. Okay? Say, I move on my own time. Don't make the same mistakes Mommy did. Because I was sitting there for 2.5 more days waiting for my baby to come out. So the 28th was when I got my water broken. By the 29th, in the wee hours of the night, I was in the pool thinking that she was coming, pushing. That's the picture y'all see of my promos today. Me pushing in the pool. But newsflash, she was not born in that pool. I still got out of that pool and still was in labor for a whole nother 24 hours. So basically what they did was they didn't tell me. But the baby was in a whole different position than she was supposed to be. So they had to try to get her to move. So they put me on, basically, it's called a binder. They call it a binder, but it's basically like a waist trainer. They put me in the waist trainer to get me tight. So it basically forced her to stop being, because she was basically like, okay, imagine she's head down right now. She's basically like this, but she should have been up and down, straight and down. But with her, of course, her head down. So being that she was to the side this way, they had to bind her so she would move to being up and down straight so she can come out the right way. So they put me in the binder, and like I got on all fours and took a sheet, and they were like shaking my belly, and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, just be still, you're fine. And I'm like, like getting shaken like every couple of hours. Now that I look back, it's kind of fun. Like, it was funny. I should have just laughed, but at that point it was not funny at all, because I was having contractions every 2 minutes, and they were excruciating. What did I hate the most about labor? Using the breast pump. And Angelina, if you watch this, you was torturing me. I had to use the breast pump to rev up my contractions. Y'all, that was the worst pain I ever had in my life, because that revved in the back contractions. And I wasn't having them before I started using the pump. And then all of a sudden, it was like my body was like, like, it was just everything hurt. Like, and I was done. I was a thug. I was a thug through the whole process. Till them back contractions kicked in. Then that was it. It wasn't no more thug in me. Milla was crying. Milla was screaming. Milla was squirming. I couldn't control myself. I was just like, ugh. I remember one time I dropped the F-bomb, and Angelina's like, oh, we're cussing now. good sign. I'm like, now, you know I don't like you right now, right? Like, bro, are you serious? Like, this is funny. Like, they're like taking naps in between. But it's like, at the same time, I understand it because they were literally with me for 3 days. Like, who comes and sits with you for 3 days and watches you scream? It don't matter how much you cuss, how much you throw things, how much you cry, how much you say you want to be done. They sitting right there telling you that it's going to be all right. Like, it's going to be fine. And that's one thing, one of the midwife versus OBGYN things that I have. My midwife is like I miss her. Like, I had to get myself to understand that she was handling business. She ain't got to be my friend no more. Like, she doesn't have to be my friend. Like, but she became one of my best friends through 9 months of her getting my baby here. Like, I will never, ever, ever forget Angelina. Like, she will always be indebted to me, like, literally, because if it wasn't for her and her guidance and her treatment, I would not have my baby right now, and I probably wouldn't be in the place I was now, because even when I was going through the stuff with my husband and we were deciding to move, she was there. I could call her. I called her, and I'm like, ooh, and she's like, you gonna be all right, and she gave me nuggets, and she was like, let's get this baby out. Like, teamwork makes the dream work. We're not about to roll around in this at all. Like, and I feel like that was what set my experience apart. My midwife, she set my experience apart because I did have an OBGYN. I still had a perinatalologist. I'll write it in. So I had one of those come and he was my doctor as well. So, but basically he was just a fall through just in case something didn't go right. I'm like commenting it. Y'all can Google it. But so his name was Dr. Bruce Taylor. I loved him to death. He was in Center City, Atlanta. But I knew that it was a problem because if I did go into labor, I would have to drive into Center City in Atlanta. And who wants to give birth in a car because you waiting on niggas to learn how to drive? Like, ain't nobody got time for that. And if you've never been to Atlanta and experienced that traffic, it is the devil. And I was not having my baby in traffic. So my whole thing was, I'm having my baby at home. I'm not getting in Atlanta traffic to give birth on 85 looking crazy. Like, no. Mess around and give birth on 20 looking crazy. I ain't got time for that. Who got time for that? So anyway, they shook me up. By the time we got to the end of the day on Thursday, I was just like, not there. I was not in my body. I was just laying on the side of my couch. And if y'all go back and look at my pictures from my birth space, there was like, I had a green couch and it was like a long piece and it had a frozen blanket on it and my coconut. That's where my baby was born. On that little landing on the couch. That's where my baby was born. So basically, I was just laying there. She had like 6 pillows in between my legs, and I was pushing with every contraction. But like in between each contraction, I was literally snoring and having contractions. So imagine like, like literally, like, because I hadn't slept through all of that situation. Like, it's no point where I got in the bed to lay down and chill during that, and other than laying on that couch. So I was doing that for hours, in and out of sleep, until it just got to a point where I woke up. Angelina tapped me. Everybody was asleep in the room. The 2 dudes were asleep. She had just woke up. Kelly was gone, I think, at that point. My mom and Cayenne, my mom was upstairs, Cayenne was asleep, Kai was gone. And I'm just like, what's going on? And she's like, it's just you and me. What do you want to do? She's like, you can get up and you can just push by yourself. She's like, we can try to get the pool warmed up. You can get in the pool, but what I need to do, I'm not going to be able to do when you're in the pool. So it's going to be extra hard for you if you get in the pool. And it was just like, she was just so calm. And I knew that whatever it was about to be over. And she's just like, so you can get up and you can just push with me, or you can get everybody up and everybody can help you, but you're going to be fine. So I just said I'm gonna push by myself, because at that point I just felt such a burden. I'm like, bro, like, y'all have been here for 3 days with me. My baby's not coming. Like, it's dark outside for the second day of the row. Like, what time is it? When she opened her mouth and said it's 1:36 a.m., I was on fire. You hear me? I was so mad. Like, yo, are you telling me it's the 30th right now? It is the next day, and my baby is still in my body. I was so mad. So I was just like, whatever, I'm going to push. At that point, I didn't care what her birthday was. I didn't care if she was born on the 31st or what, because I just felt like she going to be in my body for the rest of the day. Like, it just is what it is. Oh, no, she told me it was 119 when she tapped me. It was 113 when she tapped me. It's 113 when she tapped me. So I got up, I turned around this way on the couch, and I started pushing. And she would count. And I would push, and I would push, and she would just count for me, and I would count, and they called the old school pushing. So I would push, and then it would be like I push for 10 seconds, and then I stop, and I take a breath, and then I push for 10 seconds, and I stop, and then I push, and I push for 10 seconds, and I stop. So I would do that, and then that was like counting as one push. So I was doing that, and it just seemed like slowly, as I kept pushing by myself, every time I opened my eyes from pushing, there was a new person who was joining me. So I would push, and then I'll open my eyes, and it's just Angelica. I would push and open my mom was there. And then I pushed, and then Chastity was up, and then Kia was there with the camera. And then I was just like, is she coming? And they were like, she's about to come. You need to keep pushing. She's about to come. They like, feel her hair. And I felt her hair, and I'm like, and everybody in the room almost starts crying. And I'm like, okay, where's Kai? My mom's like, don't worry about it. I'm like, where is Kai? Like, I'm not pushing until he comes. She's like, if he misses it, he's going to miss it. He's not here. You need to push. I'm like, where's Kai? So I push, open my eyes. I push, open my eyes. And everybody's like everybody's face is like this. So I'm like, where's Kai? She's like, you cannot worry about that right now. You need to push this baby out of your body. Stop asking where he's at and push. And I'm like, send him a text message at least, Mom. Come on. So she's like, all right, I'm going to send him a text. And then that's it. She sends a text. 2 minutes later, I'm pushing and I hear the door open. And I'm like, oh, he's here. So he comes down the stairs and he's there. And he's like, oh my God. And he gets the camera. And I'm like, all right. She's like, you ready? I'm like, I'm ready. She's like, you only really need 1 or 2 good pushes and she's going to be out here. You ready? I was like, I'm ready. And I took a breath and I pushed. I used everything I had in me. And she was like, act like you got to poop. And she was like, all the way at the bottom of your butt and push. And she's like, you taking the biggest shit of your life, push. And I just pushed. And my mom was like, use all the power of the women before you and push. And she sat there and she chanted. She said, Lucille, Anise, Dolores, Lanita. She just was chanting them. Shirley, Ruth, like Sophie. Chanting them, like all the ancestors on both sides of my family. And I pushed and my baby's head popped out of my body. And I felt like I was finished, girl. I felt like I was done. Like, and I was like, whoo. They're like, you got to push again. I'm like, like, I'm finished. What y'all mean? I don't know what it was, but I didn't feel much pain after that. Her head was out, and I felt like the worst was over. Oh, look at her. She's getting better with burping herself. So, after her head was out, I felt like I was done, but Kai's sitting there like, come on, baby, you good. Like, push, push, push. So I push again, and she comes out, and it's the grossest picture I've ever seen. Because like I told Angelina, if I poop, you better not post my video. And I shout out to my shawty, because she ain't post my video. And like in all my pictures, she's like dabbing my poop. That was like my biggest fear of pooping during labor. But even though I did, it wasn't like a turd. It was like a squirt. And she just like got it. So it was like a little bit gross. It wasn't like super gross, because I'm imagining I'm going to be in this pool and all of this poop particles is going to be swimming around. So she comes out and I'm like, ooh, that's the crying picture that y'all see of me crying. And then I don't know. I think she didn't cry right away. She was just kind of really, really calm. And then Angelina had to literally like poke at her and mess with her to get her to cry and get it out. And then she cried a little bit, and she was like, try to put it on your boob. And it was nothing, y'all. Like, I'm like getting emotional. It was nothing like the first time my baby latched onto my boob. Because breastfeeding was something that I wanted to do so bad. I was so afraid that she wasn't going to latch on, or that she wasn't going to like it like Cayenne didn't. And she latched on, and she did not want to let go. And I was just so in love. And so at that point where I just saw somebody ask about placenta. Oh, she spit up. So they pushed on my belly a little bit, and then it came out. I honestly feel like the pain of the placenta coming out hurt more than her head did. I don't know if it was the stinging or if it was just the consistency of the placenta. But it was very painful, and it was a lot more painful, I felt like, of the actual baby. I was just like, and it stung a little bit. But my placenta was pretty small, what I was told. I had a pretty small placenta. And after that, I just sat there. Me and Kai sat there with the baby. We rocked back and forth. He rubbed my back, and I was still catching my breath and trying to cool down. And they washed me up, rinsed me off. I didn't have any tearing. Thank you, God. I didn't have any tearing. And it was amazing to everyone because, of course, of everything I went through. And she was literally, as I'm pushing, like, using her nails to peel my cervix around Portrait's head. So, and that was just because of stress. I feel like my cervix stopped dissolving, and at a point I had only got to like 9.5 or something, and she came on out. So, I didn't tear. They rinsed me up, and once they got everything situated, I was taken upstairs. Me and the baby with her cord and her placenta in a bowl. We went upstairs. I did delayed cord cutting, which means we basically waited 3 hours until the cord was completely white to do that. Victoria said they had her on the ball, and she was so pissed. Did insurance cover it? Yes, it was out of network, but they did cover it, and I just had to pay a deductible. And that was a Georgia thing. Like, you gotta check, because the state that I was in allows home births, and that was something that was able to happen with United Healthcare that I have. That I'm about to lose because I'm 26, but we're gonna talk about healthcare another day. So that was something that was really good for me, and financially that was good for me. So I went upstairs, and once we went upstairs, they did all the stuff. I took all my pictures with the Lotus birth stuff. I wanted to do the Lotus birth, but like I said, because we were moving, I didn't want to do the Lotus birth because of mobility. I didn't want to lose my mobility with my baby, because I didn't want something to happen to the cord. Like, what if we have to drive to Charlotte. What if, something happens on that 3-hour drive, and once it drives out, and, I can't keep the cord the way it needs to be kept, because once it's dry, and it doesn't move. It's not very flexible. So it's very stationary. So, I did delayed, but it was 3 hours. I waited till she got all of her blood supply, which was very important to me, and I cut it off. I did save her placenta to plants, but somebody disposed of it. I won't go there now, because I will get angry. But we'll move forward. So, after that, they did cut the cord, did all the weighing and everything like that right there in my bed. And I have the pictures forever to keep, and my husband cut her cord and weighed her. She was 6 pounds and 1 ounce. And the rest is history. We literally packed up the U-Haul truck at 3 p.m. that same day. She was born at 1:36 in the morning. We packed up the truck around 3 in the afternoon, and I was moved from Atlanta. But I'll be back. So, let's see. That is the story of Portrait's birth. See? Easy peasy, natural birth. One thing I want to say before I answer questions. I feel like my recovery with Portrait was a lot better because of the natural birth. I did not have epidural. I didn't have anything. I had some Motrin after the fact, and I didn't even really pop the Motrin other than the first day. I was like moving. I was like out and about, walking around. People are like, yo, you had a baby a couple hours ago. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, I actually feel fine. And it took about 3 or 4 days for me to feel like, I need a regroup day. Like, I need to sleep. And then my regroup day turned into about 4 regroup days. And I just, slept for about 3 hours. For about 3 days, and got myself together. And after that, I was like, yep, I'm ready to drive. I'm ready to go here, go there, go grocery shopping by myself. Here, watch the baby. Like, it was just like I was ready to move. And she did have jaundice. So after a few days, and I'd have to explain this in depth because you have your baby at the hospital and they tell you that your baby has jaundice. She wasn't born in a hospital, so I didn't have anybody to tell me right out the womb that she had jaundice. I just had to watch for signs. So being that Cayenne had jaundice, my brother had jaundice, I knew what it looked like. And the yellow in her eyes is what was the first indicator for me. So her eyes were yellow for a few days. And I was like, okay, I don't really like it. Her eyes are yellow. She was sleeping a lot. Her poop had changed. So I'm like, let me go to the hospital. So I sent her to the ER. And we get there. And of course, I tell them she's born at home. And everybody wants to act like it's this huge thing. Like, I'm this teenage girl who gave birth at home in the bathroom, and I brought my baby to get checked out. I'm like, no, I'm married. I'm a whole married woman. I had my baby at home. It was a planned home birth, and she's 100% healthy. I just need y'all to knock out this jaundice real quick. And I know that y'all can do it easily with a light. Don't play with me. So the man in the hospital, in the ER, was really insensitive. He was really like, oh, we need to do all these newborn screenings. We need to get this done, get that done. And I'm like, for what? There's nothing wrong with my baby. This is the paper right here that my midwife gave me so that y'all can pull up her results and everything should be fine. So we were all scared because we felt like, okay, maybe he's calling CPS. Maybe he's trying to figure out what's going on. Maybe he's going to have a social worker come talk to me. Like, what is taking so long? When I finally got to the big hospital, it was good because the doctor that she was having had a wife that had a home birth in New York. So it was good for me. It benefited me because I was finally with somebody who understood all the language that came along with everything. So, she's sleeping now. So yeah, I went through the jaundice thing. She was under the light for 2 days, and then we went back and forth over a couple of days, getting her pricked a few times. I didn't like it to get her levels changed, but it ended up timing itself out. At first, they were worried that it was my breast milk because there's this thing called breast milk jaundice, but it ended up not being the case. And it made me angry at that point in time because everybody was like, well, you could give her formula for a little bit and then take her back. But, of course, like I said, my biggest fear was my baby not breastfeeding. So the last thing I wanted to do was give her formula and she come back to the breast milk and be like, I don't like that. Give me the formula. So that didn't happen. I was just like, whatever. I'm going to just keep breastfeeding until it goes away. And it ended up going away. So here we are today. All right, so questions. Amber, I'm so happy for you, girl. Let's see. How was the placenta delivery? I already talked about that. It hurt. I feel like it hurt more than the actual delivery, but my placenta was small. She said, I didn't poop. That's neither here nor there, but I'm done. Baby A latched on immediately, too. See, this is the best feeling. And Facebook is, you're going to have to jump on Facebook, everybody on Instagram, because I got 2 minutes left on my hour on Instagram. Says, may be the way I was, it was attached to you. Yeah, I think so too. Said, what did you do with the placenta? I tried to plan it, but somebody threw my plan away. What would you have done if tearing were there if it happened? She would have had to sew me up, and I would have been horrified. I wanted to wait until the cord stopped pulsating, but my mom and Marcus's mom was not having it. She said, my heavenly mom. It was very important to me, too. You have to fight for your birth plan. People don't understand. You have to educate. Make sure if you want for the next time, next go round, and please join me on Facebook if you still want to watch. The best thing to do is to just stress it to people. It took a long time for me to get everybody to understand, like, no, this is my birth plan. It's not changing. This is the way I want it to happen. This is the way I want my baby to be born. And if it doesn't happen that way, I'm going to be pissed. So I really just, I would just encourage you to, if or when you have another baby, write a birth plan down. Have it in writing what you want to happen so that it cannot be misconstrued or changed in any way. And also educate them on the benefits so that they weren't fighting you so hard about it, because I feel like we just don't know. When you don't know, you're confused about it. Even my mom, I had to tell her, like, when I was doing the lotus birth was the plan the whole way through. And she was like, I don't know about that. You should cut it. And I'm like, no. but I still ended up cutting it. So, all right, 15 seconds left on the Instagram. Please, you guys, I see it's 2 people watching. Please hop on Facebook and watch me live. Later. Peace, love.